let's move on to hockey. For the matter of the fact,
we mentioned India's strongholds at the start, and we've completely missed out on hockey. Okay, hockey is the Indian stronghold.
Absolutely.
8 golds, and
along with this 8 gold records, we have that tremendous records of winning 6 consecutive times from 1920 to 1956,
which is a big record. That's an insane record. Just to read that, when you process it, that's 6 Olympic games. That's like 24 years.
That's almost like Real Madrid in the Champions League.
That's even better than Real Madrid in the Champions League. That's nearly 3 decades. And it's insane to think of it. Mind-blowing.
Small snippet that I want to put into that is in 1928 and 1956, namely, they managed to get those Olympic wins without conceding a single goal. Not even 1 goal conceded.
Wow.
So,
man.
Of course, it's, I think...
that's utter domination.
That's definitely dominance. But we've been a little on the slack, I would say, as compared to what we were. Because the last gold medal came in 1980 for the men's hockey team.
Okay. So, the drought's been longer than what our winning streak was.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's longer than that. But then I feel it's like that golden period was there for some time. And now probably we are back because if you see the current Indian men's hockey team, at 2020 Olympics, they won the bronze. So it wasn't like they didn't get a medal. They won bronze. Everybody probably expected them to win a gold because of the sheer quality that India holds in terms of hockey. And even in the last 2 major championships, I mean in the Asian Games and in the Asian Champions Trophy, Indian team has been unbeaten. So I think they're in the right direction going into this competition with a lot of confidence and a lot of good records to their names.
Okay.
And there is another thing that I would like to mention here is Team India has also beaten the current world champions, which is Germany, in the FIH Hockey Pro League. So
I like what I'm hearing, I really like it.
So Indian team is one to definitely look out for.
Yeah, definitely. I think maybe a start of a golden period again. Yeah, I won't jinx it, but hopefully.
We hope the dominance.
Hopefully, hopefully it returns. The dominance needs to return. It needs to. That's our original stronghold. We need to get back to that. But in terms of that, judo, another niche sport, and we have another athlete who is making their first appearance at the Olympics.
The list doesn't seem to end.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to end. Tulika Man, who will be making her appearance in the women's 78 plus kilogram category. And India has never won a medal at judo. So I think that's another event that we have on our list that we can say we are hope expecting a medal.
Absolutely.
I genuinely, once again, hopeful for a medal, but this is again something like dressage, personally, that I would say. I would not say that we can expect a medal. We would really be hopeful for a medal, and I genuinely pray to God that she comes back with one, because these athletes, day in, day out, they work so hard. They genuinely deserve it. But I think I wouldn't tag it as I expect a medal from her.
No added pressure.
Yeah, no added pressure. This would be, I think, like I said for Anush Agarwalla, this would be a bonus if she comes back with a medal. That's how I would put it, in my opinion.
So you mentioned niche sports. We have 2 other niche sports. We have rowing and sailing.
Right.
Where in rowing we have Balaji Panwar for the men's single sculls. He's an Indian Army rower who's been into the game, and he's going to be there in the Paris Olympics. For sailing, we have Vishnu Saravanan and Netra Kumaran.
Right. So the men's single sculls with Balaji Panwar in rowing, that's an interesting event to look out for. And he's an army rower as well, so I can just imagine the discipline would be
absolutely
army and an athlete. I think the discipline for both of those is like mind-blowing.
Perfect combination.
Yeah, the perfect combination. Exactly.
And again, the athlete that I mentioned for sailing, Netra, she's the first woman to qualify for sailing from India in the Olympics.
Another first.
First.
The list, as I said, it just doesn't seem to end, and I don't think it should end. In my opinion, that should be a never-ending list. It's good. Longer the list, the better it is.
Absolutely.
And talking about that, about the never-ending list, we come to swimming. Dinidi Desingu, I'm sorry if I've absolutely butchered that pronunciation of the name, but she becomes the youngest athlete of the 2024 Olympic contingent competing in the 200 meters women's freestyle. Can you guess her age?
I don't want to take any wrong guesses. I've already made one math error in this episode, so I would rather just.
Adit's gonna look at whatever the research teams put on the screen for him.
I would rather just have you tell me her age.
Yeah, so it's 14 years old.
What? Eric, what is your age?
We were talking about this that day in the Euros.
Exactly.
Lamine Yamal 16. My mom and dad they're sitting with me watching, and the commentator mentioned few times. My dad's like, "What are you doing in life?" For those of you who need context, I professionally played tennis before stopping. I still do, but I no longer play professionally. And my dad constantly tells me, "What did you do in life?" I invested lakhs into you. You are over there.
but this is absolute madness. I mean, at the age of 14, you were 14. Going to represent your country at the Olympics, and just one.
She cannot even travel alone without she cannot travel unaccompanied.
Absolutely, and a quick fun fact that I want to just put in here for the audience and for you as well. Even though I wasn't able to guess the age of this athlete, this is one fact that I'm very sure about, that this athlete isn't the youngest Indian athlete who's been in the contingent. There was one athlete.
Bro, what?
There was one athlete in the Olympic contingent who was 11 years old. I am not very sure of the event nor the year, but this is a fact. We'll get it checked from our research team. But it's absolutely crazy.
That's mind blowing. That's a mind blowing fact. Here. Genuinely, that's a mind blowing fact, because how can you be 11 years and 14 years? When I was 11, I did not stay in the house alone.
I don't remember what I was doing at 14 years.
This genuinely ridiculous levels of talent, honestly. To be representing the country at age 14, hats off to you. Genuinely, I hope you do the country proud, and I think the country will be proud of whatever you do, regardless of the result.
Absolutely. Let's come back at racket sports now.
Yeah.
We have table tennis. So,
I just said I was a tennis player. I don't really care about the second grade version.
But just one quick mention to table tennis has been that the Ultimate Table Tennis League, which has been on in India for a couple of years now, it's a franchisee league. And I think that has really been a bedrock for the growth of table tennis. And it'll be interesting to see what.
Because table tennis, you mentioned that it has been a bedrock of growth. One of the interesting facts is table tennis is majorly dominated by the Asian countries, especially China.
Yes.
And India is in that sense the only Asian country that did not have a solid foundation in table tennis. So I think with this franchisee league of Ultimate Table Tennis, I think it's good that the growth is there. Again, this is a point we mentioned, that the growth is there. Of course, there's a long way to go, but at least we are doing something. Tiny steps, baby steps, and I think that's a step in the right direction. So I think that's something to really look forward to. And again, this is another sport where I think we don't put the pressure of expecting a medal on the athletes, but I think again, always a medal is always welcome, and we hope that our athletes do well.
Absolutely. But let's talk about your favorite sport then. Tennis.
Yeah, this is my sport. Sumit Nagal, he is the talk of the town in the Indian tennis community, not just the Indian tennis community. Internationally, he's made headlines, right now, and I genuinely expect big things from this guy. Like when you talk about tennis, obviously you have the greats over there. Nadal, Murray said he's going to be playing his last ever tennis tournament, so a few emotions there as well.
Right.
But genuinely I expect big things of him. He actually played in Tokyo 2020, and that coincides with his best ever result, which came this year in a Grand Slam as well, both in which he reached the second round of the tournament. And I genuinely think that in the Olympics he has a chance of going way past that mark. I think he can get his best ever result. Can he get a medal? Tennis again is something that is heavily European dominated.
Right, we've already seen that.
Yeah,
we so Wimbledon.
Yeah,
now Alcaraz.
Alcaraz he's on another level, man. Yeah, he's. I always supported Roger, and Roger's been gone for a while. I think I say Medvedev is someone who I like a lot, but Alcaraz is an unstoppable force. He is insane. When you speak about tennis. But coming back to our guys, Sumit Nagal, would I say I expect him to win a medal? No, it would be a bit harsh of me to say that. But I genuinely think he's incredibly talented, and I think he can be really, really close to winning a medal at this point. So yeah, that's what I think is the case. So yeah,
Right,
Sumit Nagal is
it's
a
not only
big
Sumit
name
Nagal.
there.
We have Rohan Bopanna and N. Sriram Balaji who are
Yeah,
playing in the men's
definitely.
doubles category.
Definitely.
And I think Rohan Bopanna was all over the media headlines, and
Yeah.
he's getting all the media attention when he
Rohan
got the
has been
world.
for a while.
Yeah, he got the world #1 ranking
Yeah.
when he won his first major doubles title.
Yeah,
at
the Grand Slam title at the Australian Open. So coincidentally, India had a brilliant Australian Open in terms of tennis. Sumit Nagal getting one of his best ever this things in terms of best ever results in terms of singles, and Rohan Bopanna obviously winning the title. So in terms of men's doubles, so can Rohan Bopanna win a medal? Should we expect it from him and Balaji? Yes, I expect a medal.
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. Do I expect a gold? No. Do I expect a medal? Definitely.
Yeah, and
It's not any added pressure, but from somebody who has the experience that Rohan has and the talent that Balaji has, I genuinely think that it would be. I can't say that it's a bad Olympic Games for them if they come back without a medal, but it isn't the best.
Right, and mentioning the fact that you said the kind of experience he has, Rohan, in fact, is the oldest athlete of the Indian contingent for the 2024 Paris Olympics. But moving on to wrestling. This is another interesting category that we have. So
we have our team in the background creating a ruckus. Anyways, moving on.
So we have the Indian wrestling team for the 2024 Olympics, which has 1 male wrestler and 5 female wrestlers who are competing across multiple weight categories. Yeah. But I think one point that I really want to mention here is there are a lot of big misses in wrestling this time.
Definitely.
Any particular names that you have in mind?
Sushil Kumar, Yogeshwar Dutt, Sakshi Malik,
Bajrang Punia,
yeah, Ravi Kumar Daya. They are the big names of Indian wrestling, and a lot of them are missing due to the obvious controversy, and there are a few that didn't make the cut. But still, it's again one of those points where introspection needs to be had, because it's not a good look. This is again something similar to archery, right, where we do have a good amount. We have 6 wrestlers traveling with the contingent, so it's not like in archery where we have just 2 of them, but it is still something wherein there are less of that. And the big names are missing. It's on a global scale, it's just not a good look.
Yeah, it doesn't portray a good image of India, and exactly the point you said, ki introspection ki zarurat hai. Yeah. Not only for the athletes, but also from probably a governance point of view of the sport. Because I don't want to mention details, but there have been certain events that have been going around wrestling. So
definitely. And when I say in terms of introspection, I think let's be brutally honest for a minute. If we are talking about introspection in Indian sports, I think the first point that pops up to our minds is the governance. Absolutely. More than the athletes. So I think that's the priority, especially in wrestling. I think that's another thing that you can call us being critical or anything, sitting here easy to speak, looking at our laptops, but that's a point that is really, really a nagging point for the entire contingent.
Absolutely. But let's move to a more merrier side of the categories. We have shooting. Again, the category where India won the first ever individual gold medal by Abhinav Bindra in the 2008 Beijing Olympics, the 10-meter air rifle. Right. So how does the contingent this time look for you?
The contingent is actually, I think shooting has the biggest representation in the contingent. I might be wrong with this. My maths might be just as bad as Adit's. But in those terms, I think it is one of the biggest contingents, 20 athletes traveling. But the surprising thing, and again, coming back to one of the points we spoke about, only 4 of them have previously represented India at the Olympics. We have 16 first-timers in terms of shooters at the Olympics, and I think that's a mind-blowing number.
Absolutely.
Because we can just say just 16. It's not
16 is not a small number at all. And
out of the 117, 16 shooters are making their debut at the Olympics. So that's
I think we
a
can
big
have two
thing.
separate lists this time. A debutants and a veterans list on who.
The veterans list might end up being smaller.
Probably.
It genuinely might be.
It actually can be.
Yeah, so definitely. When we talk about the names, there is Pratap Singh Tomar, who is one of the earlier representations. He shoots the 50-meter rifle in the men's category. We obviously also have Ilva Neil Valarivan. Sorry, I again butchered that pronunciation completely. She does the women's and the mixed 10-meter air rifle. And we have Anjum Mogdil, who does the women's 50-meter rifle. And then we obviously have one of the biggest name talents, Manu Bhaker. She does the women's and the mixed 10-meter air pistol. Sorry, I'm absolutely butchering this. The 10-meter air pistol in the women's and the mixed, and the women's 25-meter pistol. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So those four are the experienced ones. Manu Bhaker, actually, she did not live up to the expectations set of her in the last Olympics.
In the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, yeah.
And I think similarly, again, I would not want to put additional pressure on her, but Manu Bhaker, a medal is expected of you. And genuinely, I think with the amount of athletes that we have representing the shooting contingent,
we should at least expect one medal.
One medal is an understatement. I would be expecting at least 3 or 4, maybe more, because the sheer number that we have, it's like quantity is there, and I'm not an expert into shooting, but I definitely assume quality is there as well. So
yeah, and this is actually a strategy that a lot of countries use. When you see countries like China, the reason they get so many medals is unka contingent ही इतना बड़ा होता है.
Exactly.
They have numerous athletes. They have multiple folds of athletes of the Indian contingent.
Right.
So, of course, I'm not saying कि numbers always means that you'll get a medal, but it just increases your chances.
Yeah, definitely.
I know this math.
Yeah. This math is correct. We'll give Adit something. And obviously coming to the last category,
but not
the least. In fact, one of the more important ones, Saikhom Mirabai Chanu, representing us in weightlifting. She's the only athlete to represent India in weightlifting in the women's 49 kg category, and she has already won the silver in Tokyo 2020.
Absolutely.
So
again, she's also one of the top 10 slots in her weight division according to based on the IWF Olympic qualification rankings that they have.
That's brilliant.
So again, yes, a very big name, and she has a lot of responsibility on her shoulder, probably a lot of expectations. So we don't want to burden her anymore. But yes, again, a very big name, and again, I don't want to call her a veteran, but she's someone who's already won a medal in the last Olympics. Yeah. So we can definitely expect big things from her.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned the expectations. You wouldn't want to put more, but I mean, the only way I see it, you can only improve. So I think this is one category I would definitely really want her to see win gold.
Absolutely.
And I think this could be a third category where India could see an individual gold. Genuinely speaking, as we come to the end of the categories, I genuinely think this has to be an Olympics where we pick up at least 3 individual golds. This might be a very
prediction.
Yeah, it might be a very. It's not a prediction. It's more of my personal opinion. If it comes right, then I'll be the happiest guy. I'll run around and tell everybody of you in the room that it was a prediction from me. But I won't be as bold as to say it's a prediction. But it's something that I feel is possible.
Right.
It's not too big of a shot.
No, and it's not only about the gold. मतलब जैसे कि हमने देखा था कि 2020 में as I said हमने number of athletes बहुत बढ़ा दिए थे. The number crossed 100 there, and subsequently we got the highest medal tally as well.
Right.
To 7.
Right.
तो अभी it only seems logical कि अगर हम वापस एक बड़ा contingent भेज रहे हैं जिसमें 100 से ज्यादा athletes है तो हम expect कर सकते हैं कि we'll get even more medals. And I think the quality of sports and sports people in India, the athletes that we are producing as a country, is just improving.
Right.
Day by day, we are improving. So I think it's a brilliant contingent to have.
Yeah.
And one thing that I really want to mention and put out here is that by saying that these are potential winners or potential medal winners, we don't want to override the fact on any other athlete in the contingent.
Right.
everybody is absolutely there to make sure that India is represented at the highest stage and give their all for the country. So
this was something we mentioned in the intro. It's just 117 people carrying the hopes of 140 crore people. And when you look at it in that perspective, I don't know, we both are bad at maths in this, I think. How many percentage would it be? Like, I don't even think it would be 0.1%.
Absolutely.
So, they are incredibly talented people, and I think we wish them the very best. And we really, really hope that they do well. So, yeah, this has been me and Adit on the Game Time Banter, and we'll see you guys again soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.